I'm Rebecca from engVid. In this lesson, you'll learn how to use the past tense of the verb to be. Now, as you know, the verb to be is a really important verb. So in this lesson, you'll learn how to use the words was and were correctly in English. Now, this is a beginner's lesson, but even if you are at any level and you just want to review the basics, this lesson will help you. So let's get started. So, the verb to be, of course, can be used in the present, in the past, and also in the future. But in this lesson, we are focusing on how to use it in the past. I'm going to just review very quickly how to use it in the present, but I think you already know that, right? Okay. So, when we say the present, what do we mean by that? It could mean right now, it could mean this year, it could mean today, right? So, for example, I am at work right now. Yesterday, I was at home. So when I say was, that's the past. The past can be yesterday, last night, last week, 5 years ago. Any time before now is the past. Okay, so let's take another example. He is a manager this year. Last year, he was a worker. He is becomes he was. Next, she is in London today. Yesterday, she was in Paris. Again, is became was. Another example, it is cold today. Yesterday, it was hot. So once again, is became was. So what's the pattern here? What do you see? I know you see the pattern. So the pattern is that all of these became was. So I am, I was. He is, he was. She is, she was. It is, it was, right? So all of these, am and is, become was in the past. All right? Let's go to some other pronouns. We are studying right now. Yesterday, we were working. We were. Make sure you pronounce that properly. A lot of people make a mistake when they say were. It's not the word where, like the question. It's were. Okay, say it with me. We were studying. Good. Oh, sorry. We were working. All right. Another example. You are married today. Yesterday, you were single. Okay, somebody just got married. All right. They are here right now, but a few hours ago, they were over there. Okay? All right. So, what do you see here? Another pattern. Whatever is are in the present tense becomes were in the past tense. That's all. So there's only two possibilities in the past tense, was or were. Okay? So here's a little review. Am and is become was, and are becomes were. Now, one last little point. Was and were can be used by themselves. Okay? So this can be a verb used by itself. For example, it was hot. This is just the verb to be by itself. Or was and were can be used as helping verbs. For example, we were working. Okay? So that's just a little something to keep in mind. Now next, you'll learn how to use was and were in English. Now let's look at how to use was and were in positive sentences, negative sentences, and also in questions. Okay? So, as you've already learned, I, he, she, and it all use was, right? I was at home. He was at home. She was at home. It was at home. It can be for a thing. For example, a cell phone. All right? If you want to make that sentence negative, then basically in English, what we have to add is the word not. I was not. But when we're speaking, we don't usually say I was not at home. We just say something a little shorter. We say I wasn't at home. Do you want to repeat that after me so you can learn how to pronounce it really well? I wasn't at home. Now, when you're writing it, just remember that the apostrophe goes where we take out the O. So was and not, take out the O and add the apostrophe. And then you'll not only say it perfectly, you'll also spell it perfectly. Good. So I was, I wasn't. And then to make a question, we just change the order. Same word, right? Was I at home? I don't remember. Was he at school? Was she at work? Was it on the shelf? Okay, so you're just changing the order when you make a question. So that's pretty straightforward. Now let's look at what happens with we, you, and they. For that, we have to use were. We were, you were, they were. And how do we make it negative? Again, you only add the word not. So if you were to say the full thing, you would say, we were not at home. But as I said, usually we shorten it, we contract it, and it sounds like this. We weren't at home. Repeat after me. We weren't at home. You weren't at home. They weren't at home. All right? And if you want to make a question, same principle, same rule. Again, you put the word were before. So, were we at home? Were you at school? Were they at work? Okay, so you're just changing the order. Now, how do you know that you know all of these things? When you can make a positive sentence, a negative sentence, and a question. So take one of them. For example, just take a simple sentence. Don't add a lot of vocabulary. Keep it really simple. He was tired. Right? He was tired. Make it negative. He wasn't tired. Make it a question. Was he tired? All right? So take any of these pronouns. These are all called pronouns. And make simple sentences. Then make them negative. And then make them into a question. And when you can do that easily, then you have learned how to use was and were. Next, we'll do some practice so you can get really good at this. So now, we have 8 sentences on the board, and you're going to help me fill in the blanks with was or were. Let's go. Number 1, Mr. Williams blank at the meeting. Do we say Mr. Williams was at the meeting or Mr. Williams were at the meeting? What do we say? Mr. Williams was at the meeting. Very good. Her classes blank interesting. Her classes blank interesting. Was or were, which one? Her classes were interesting because it's classes, right? It's plural. It's like they. Very good. My suitcase blank very heavy. My suitcase blank very heavy. My suitcase is like what? That we learned. It. It's one thing. So my suitcase was very heavy. Very good. The stores blank closed. The stores, it's plural. It's like they. So what do we say? They were closed. Very good. Number 5. It blank raining yesterday. It was raining or it were raining? Which one sounds right? By now, if you say it out loud, you will also hear what's correct. It was raining. Okay, good. Number 6. I blank hungry. I blank hungry. So what should it be? I was hungry or I were hungry? I was. Always was. I was. Number 7. Blank you late. Was you late or were you late? Which one is correct? Were you? Okay? Very important because we often ask questions to other people, right? So this one with you is really important. Were you on time? Were you late? Were you in a meeting? Were you at home? Lots and lots of questions that we ask like that. So pay attention to that one, okay? And number 8, we blank in Brazil. We, what should it be? We were in Brazil, okay? Now, let's really quickly go through them and make them negative because you can do it. I know you can. Mr. Williams was at the meeting. Mr. Williams wasn't. You say it with me, okay? Her classes weren't interesting. My suitcase wasn't very heavy. The stores weren't closed. It wasn't raining yesterday. I wasn't hungry. Weren't you late? Yes, you can ask a question like that. Weren't you late? You can ask a negative question also, okay? Good for you. And we weren't in Brazil. Okay, so very, very good work. Now, if you're really serious about improving your English, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can continue to get lots of new lessons as they appear, okay? Next, the other thing you can do is to go to our website. It's free, doesn't cost you any money. It's up to you to just decide to improve your English and use all the different websites and resources that you can to improve every day. So go to our website, www.engvid.com. There you can do 2 things. First, just to review this lesson, go to the quiz that's available for this lesson and do that so you get some extra practice. And then look around at that website. We have hundreds of lessons in English, and many of them are at beginner, intermediate, advanced levels, and you will be able to find the lessons that speak to your issues or your problems and help you to move forward and make progress in English. Okay? Thanks very much for watching and good luck with your English.